Alright, I'm going to educate you on tinnitus on my video here for YouTube. When you have tinnitus, it's going to become a rough thing to get through. Now, first thing you have to do is when you get on set, you're from a concert or say, whatever, or if it comes like, say, an ear infection or whatever that comes into, you got to see an ENT first. Scan your head, make sure nothing's wrong, and scan the ears. If it's earwet buildup, sometimes they say that if it's earwet buildup, then it should be gone. No problem. But there are some people who will get it permanently if the earwets have not been removed right away. Then there is puncturing of the eardrum. Now, this goes 50-50 on that one too. I have a sister who punctured her eardrum with a Q-tip. She didn't get tinnitus, so she was lucky. But if you do get, then from that one part, welcome to hell. That's all I gotta say for you. But let's just say, even just from listening to a concert, or if you're working at construction, or you're in the military, and you just had your ear protection dropped out of you, because, well, back from 2000 something to 2015, the U.S. military has now started to sue a company called 3M that once had these one of these types of earbuds, that these earplugs that they were trying to be putting in your ears, so that way they can protect you from a lot of sounds. But one of so many had theirs dropped, and then that got hearing loss from all the loud noises. But tinnitus falls in with hearing loss. It just does. It's like a little child that runs to, that always will follow its mother. Is what it is. But once you had this, once your ENT is already done checking you out, see what the damage is and whatnot, then you go to the audiologist, test where your hearing loss is, and then they have to say, well, that's it. You can deal with your hearing loss, we can give you hearing aids, which hearing aids are beneficial when you get tinnitus. They can reprogram to kind of say where your severity of your tinnitus is. First, they got to give you a test. Then they give you a piece of paper to say where your annoyance is and how much loud it is and all that. With that, then they program to see where your level of severity threshold is, and Bob's your uncle. Now, there are two different types of hearing aids that you can wear. One are traditional, which is just using amplification, which can become good maskers. That means every environmental sound, say from the loudness of your furnace, to the fan, to the TV, and going outside. There's more loud noises going on out there than in your own home. If you got nothing else on, like right now it's purely quiet, and I can hear it. Even with my hearing aids on. But that's what they're going to have to give you. Then second of all, then if you're going to go through the other parts that say how to deal with your tinnitus, then they have to go through a psychological training therapy. This is going to reprogram your brain by letting you listen to white noises to keep the tone, if you got higher tone of tinnitus, because there's three different versions. You got your mild, which is very quiet. You don't have to deal with anything. You probably really don't even need one of these to get you through. But if you do want to, that's fine. Then there's moderate, slightly more quiet. Sometimes you can get used to without hearing aids, but sometimes you may need to. Just keep it down low. You might hear it a little bit on the hearing aid, and that's fine. Then there's severity. Then there's severe. This one is way high. Because let's say on a count of from 1 to 10 on annoyance and severity of it, For mild, it'd be like maybe a 2 or 3. But it goes down to even to a 1 at times. For moderate, up to a 5 at best. Then to severe, 7, 8, 9, or probably 10 at the highest most, which there are some, at some rare occasions, want to get that 10. And there are some hearing aids with maskers that can help out with that severity. What that means is that, let's pull out one of my other ones and give you an example. See that little switch there? This controls the volume. Let's say this little button right here is the button for the white masker. I just press that, turns it on. I don't have one of these because my insurance can't afford it. FYI, if you get Medicare and Medicaid, they can't give you the white maskers, kind of like hearing aids, because they consider to be experimental devices. The government doesn't understand what white maskers are, but when you get Blue Cross and Blue Shield, they can recognize those. So get one of those if you're interested in getting white maskers. But once you have those, they can program what sound that you want. And then after that, Bob your uncle again, and you're fine. Then they recommend getting you to say a white masker thing. Say this one's again. Because I don't have any of these things. I have a phone for that. You can actually use a phone. In fact, there are even hearing aids that have like Bluetooth technology. We can stream sounds coming into your ear. Your tinnitus will not like it. You're like, I want to be annoying to you. Say, nope, puts you right back in the back seat of the car. You're gonna hear it, but with the radio on, you won't even know that's there. That's what the tinnitus is gonna be like for the rest of your life with. Then there's just like the cognitive behavior training, or TRT, which is tinnitus retraining therapy. Usually, if you can't afford a hearing aid, then you have to mentally block this thing. That means that annoying little kid that's in the back seat of the car, that you have to drive with, that you got to keep driving with for the rest of your life, you're going to have to train your brain to ignore the sound. Get used to it. That means y'all parents are going to have to do that too. It's not fun. Think I don't have kids. Because many years back, I can never deal with kids. It's who I am. But then after that, then you're fine. Hopefully. There are some people that can never deal with it. Mentally, because they're too sensitive. I have to deal with my tinnitus. And here are some of the different versions of this. Mostly for noise-induced tinnitus, like I have to what you may get, which is the most common of any. Now, when you have noise-induced tinnitus, you're going to get maybe 2 different versions of this. Mostly within the sensitive level, which is common for noise-induced tinnitus. You will get one or 2 rare ones, which is called reactive tinnitus, which I have now. Years back, I didn't have this from the start, but then it went away after I damaged my ears from a headset. Then it turned to a mild tone, and then it went away for a year and a half until last year when I start drinking on New Year's. Then the drinking made it come back. Don't know why. Because when you drink, if you just have just regular tinnitus and you start drinking, all you're going to get is a spike. Spike is when it reacts to some certain things, like some noises. It can be correlated with reactive tinnitus, which I have, but now I can only hear like distortions. Like, say a microphone was broken and it's trying to pick up sound, and when you hear from the amplifier or the speaker, all you hear is like crackling, whistling noises. Mine's sort of that. Mine's more like buzzing, Morse code, and beeping noises. Like, I can hear my own voice beeping right now. Then there is a more excruciating one, what's called hyperacusis. Now, hyperacusis is when your sensitivity ramps up to 11. What I mean by that, you don't have to hear. Not every person who has hyperacusis will have distortions, but some will. But let's say it's not just about distortions. This is going to be about your sensitivity going up when you hear things that are hear normal things that becomes painful. Kind of say about the beginning on this bitch thing. Normally, your ears would never have a problem because I still have tolerance to this. Let's say your tolerance of that noise is no longer there. Now your sensitivity is ramping up again. Now it hurts your ears because it's impacted the muscle part in your inner ear. And once that does, it triggers it as you're knocking on it. Or when you're cleaning on plates because it has a higher frequency. That higher frequency going into your ear, it makes you so hurt. If you get this from the start, well then you're going to be in hell. Because it is excruciating. I've never had hyperacusis, and I probably don't want to. Because then I'd be screaming, hell, holy hell. Now, if you do get these, get hyperacusis, one, you gotta get earplugs. They can actually take down the tone of the decibels of regular everyday sound. But if you get, let's say, severe hyperacusis, then you're going to have a combination of both earplugs and earmuffs. Because now everything is painful, including your own family's voice. I have a loud family, so if I get hyperacusis, it's going to drive me nuts. Part of me want me to off myself, let's put it this way. Because there's been some people that did off themselves. There's one, I think if you look up, I can't remember his name, but he was the guy who created the Texas Roadhouse. He had his tinnitus from COVID, which you can get tinnitus from COVID. Because if you get, like, say, sinus infection or an ear infection, whatever, COVID it can be like that as well. Because it can attack your sinuses, which someone can go to elopium tube, whatever. I can't pronounce that name right. Goes in there and can infect it and cause you to have this loud ring in the ear. Depends on the severity, but yeah, dude got the severe part, which is ongoing 24/7, crank up to 11 tone, and it drove him nuts to the point where he hanged himself. There are many different people who have done that, and it's scary. Now, these are kind of the things they have to deal with. Like, my tinnitus is going to be hard to get used to every now and then because I have to keep hearing these distortions. With hyperacusis, go away. Yes. With TRT, like, they will give you the hearing aids without the amplification because if you have, let's say, regular hearing aids, you try to put it on if you have severe hyperacusis, it only makes the ear pain worse. That doesn't mean that you bleed out of your ears. That means that you're just going to have to be dealing with a high level of sensitivity. They give you the masters with white noise. Now, this is only when you have to be introduced to it. You get used to it, like every now and then. You only have to wear it for certain times until, and certain months later, you're still going to have to, then you crank up the volume, then you wear it a much longer time. This is called desensitizing. This is trying to reincorporate your tolerance for the sensitivity, including that if you get reactive tinnitus. It doesn't mean that the reactivity goes away, but even though the pain of hyperacusis can actually go away. But the distortions may still be there, but your brain is going to be saying, okay, I no longer want to acknowledge that it's there. That's pretty much what's all going to happen. So, that's what's going to be like for you for tinnitus. And hopefully that you are prepared, as I gave you some of these advices. If you want more, go to tinnitustalk.com or look at some Facebook groups that can give you some information, if not more, and whatnot. Those are kind of, because there's some people who have more experience with tinnitus than I do, because I'm only going to be on my second year. With some others, they can do better. So y'all have a great day.